Hi, welcome to Ninja Cook Show. Today we're going to be making banana chocolate muffins. And don't try this recipe until you've watched this entire video, because it's an experimental recipe, and I really don't know how it's going to end up. So yeah, just watch the video, then try.
Okay, so looking at the recipe here, it's actually for banana chocolate chip muffins. However, we're not going to use chocolate chips, because this is obviously banana chocolate muffins. And so yeah, we're going to substitute a few things. Yeah, so no chocolate chips, and probably going to mix some cocoa in there somewhere.
So anyways, let's take care of a few things. First of all, you're probably wondering why I, a ninja, am wearing blue jeans. You know, the thing is, when you live in town, you can't walk around in black pants and a black shirt and a black mask. People will just like see you on the streets, and like if you need to kill someone, they'll just be like, well, hey, there's the ninja, run away. But you know, if you put on blue jeans and you know the black shirt and the mask, and you're running around, and you know people are like, oh, that's just another one of those party kids from college. Yeah, no big deal. And then it's like, hiya! And yeah, and it's just great. It's a great disguise. Also, you may be wondering why ninja and cooking, like how does that mix? And I'm here to tell you that cooking is a very ancient form of fighting. You fight hunger with cooking. And you know, most people they're just kind of average at it, but ninjas, we just excel at cooking. We're just amazing at cooking. Like we just cook away hunger, and like hunger doesn't dare show up here because we're such ferocious cookers. I mean, this video is all about experimental cooking. Oh man, that is just like the highest form of cooking that you could possibly be doing to combat hunger. So before we get started cooking, there's a few things that I like to usually start out with. First, I like to have a nice atmosphere. Like, I usually play some music while I cook. It just gives it a nice atmosphere. Some of the things I play while I cook are, for example, like this. And this. And this. And of course this. And also... Wait, what? What is this? Shame! Okay, anyways, let's get on with the cooking. So, anyways, we have here our butter, and it calls for 1/3 a cup of butter. I don't remember what exactly 1/3 a cup of butter is, so I usually just use a whole stick of butter. Anyways, we'll take that and we'll put it in the microwave over here and mic it for about, say 20 seconds. You don't need to mic it very long, but just so you can get it soft enough so it can just mix up real well. And anyways, while we're doing that, we'll then find our measuring cup. Yes, here we go. And we'll measure out 2/3 a cup of sugar. So yeah, one also just really important thing that I like to do before cooking is washing my hands. It's very important. In fact, you know, if you're watching this video right now, you should just stop and go wash your filthy hands. And yeah, because it's just gross if you don't have washed hands. But yeah, my mommy taught me this, and she also said not to wash them in the kitchen sink. Sorry, Mom. And those are shames. So yeah, anyways, the next step is cracking the eggs. And also, I forgot to say that one very important thing is that you want to do when you're cooking is to always mix your liquidies first, and then mix your dryies, you know, later, like flour and stuff. So like the eggs, they come first. You put them in with the sugar and the butter, and you mix it. Don't ask me why you mix that first, but you do. So you just don't question it, you do. But, so yeah,
So now that we have put in the eggs, we got the sugar in there, we got the butter. Now what we want to do is, after putting away the eggs, we'll take the mixer and mix it up.
Okay, so here comes the experimental part of the cooking. You see, if you looked at the recipe earlier, it calls for 1 3/4 cup of flour. But I want to make chocolate banana muffins, not chocolate chip banana muffins, because, you know, chocolate chips, whatever, but chocolate banana muffins. So what I need to do is find the appropriate measurement of what to mix in of cocoa to make these muffins chocolate. So if I think about it, when I make cookies, I usually mix in about a cup of cocoa into the cookie batter. And the important thing is, like, it calls for 1 3/4 cup of flour, but you gotta kind of stick with the recipe, so I gotta substitute. So what I'll do is I'll probably either mix in, I don't know if a cup of cocoa would, man, that would just make them really chocolatey, which isn't a bad thing, so maybe I'll do that. But I think to just play it on the little bit safer side today, I'll mix in 3/4 cup of cocoa and keep a cup of flour. So that'll be our measurements, and we'll see how it turns out.
So here we are with 3/4 cup of cocoa. I'm gonna pour that in here. Well, I guess I should mix it and pour it in. So, but anyways, this should make them pretty chocolatey.
So we're at the next step. What we need now to do is put in some very dead-looking bananas. I know they look kind of gross, but they're actually perfect for banana bread. This is the place they're supposed to be. I mean, if they're too ripe, if they're too unripe, I mean, it just won't taste good. So what we need to do is we're going to peel these and then chop them up into this bowl here, and then mash them up. Now, when I like to chop things, you know, normally I'd use my sword, but I just don't want to dirty it with banana stuff. So I just pick out the next biggest knife in my silverware drawer, which happens to be this. So yeah, we're just going to use this and just kind of chop them up. I love chopping things. And then just mash them.
So here we are with the mashed bananas. Yeah, it looks pretty nasty. Actually, it doesn't. I'm used to it. I mean, it looks kind of like a brains of a Jabberwocky. But so yeah, we're just gonna throw this in there, and then our very last step is we'll add the flour that we haven't added. So I need to add a cup of flour to that.
So for this part, you know, you want to have the pan, obviously a muffin pan, and mine's clean. Don't worry, I wash all my dishes. And anyways, so yeah, you want to just like spoon the muffin mix into the pan, and you want to fill it up about halfway. So if you fill it up too full, then you end up having monstrous muffins, which, you know, isn't a bad thing, but they kind of explode all over the oven, and that's not really great. And then it just becomes this giant, like, mutated muffin pan thing. And so anyways, I like to have my muffins look kind of normal, somewhat normal, you know, just so you know, people really can't tell them apart from normal muffins. They're just like, oh, that's a normal muffin. It's, you know, a ninja couldn't have possibly made it because it looks normal. And well, these kind of don't look too normal. I mean, well, yeah, they do. I mean, they look like chocolate muffins.
Here we are. The muffin pan is full. There's a little bit of mix left, which is great, so I can make some more muffins. So now the step is the final step. Well, not quite the final step. And but anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the oven up to 350, because that's what the recipe said for the original muffins. Now these are experimented muffins. They're experimental. So anyways, turn it up to 350, and if you have an electric oven like mine, then you can just pretty much throw them in there right away, because the thing just like heats up just like that, kind of like a ninja. It's awesome. I love electrical ovens. So now I'm gonna do, now I gotta wait for the muffins, and here's some of the things I like to do while I'm just waiting around.
Anyways, as you can see, they turned out a little funky, but they actually look really good. I haven't tried them yet, but they look like they taste really good. I just, yeah, it's kind of hard to eat with a mask on. But in conclusion, I think this recipe turned out to be a great success. And look, I just combated hunger. I mean, this is my lunch. Well, part of my lunch. This is my lunch dessert. This has been the Ninja Cooking Show. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And my hope is that you will always wash your hands and that you will watch my next video whenever I decide to make it. So, until then, hiya! Hiya! Hiya!
In complete conclusion, they didn't taste quite as great as I was expecting them to. I think the problem was the chocolate was overpowering to a point where it almost tasted like really dark chocolate, like bitter chocolate, and so I just didn't have enough sugar to counterbalance that, and probably added too much chocolate. Yeah, 3/4 a cup was probably too much. Probably could have gotten away with half a cup or so. And actually, the chocolate chips probably would have tasted really good in these. But other than that, they taste like pretty normal banana muffins, and they're not too bad. I mean, I'm gonna still enjoy them, so.